What's up, guys? Welcome back to the homework assignment. I'm your host, RJ Patino, and again, today we are going to find the balance between work life and home life. So the last couple days we've been going or had a mastermind and business conference called the Sexy Business Status Conference. And this focus or the topic of this conference this week was Sales Summit. So we had some amazing speakers. We heard from Tommy Mello, Michael Burnoff. Who else did we hear from? Andy Elliott, which was just freaking phenomenal. And yeah, we said him already. Natalie Dawson and and Carlo Reyes again. So, I mean, just jam-packed with so much information. And there were some things I remember I was just listening and thinking about, and I was like, you know what, like, it's so cool to actually go and listen to 6 different people that are successful and be like, dude, I think the same way as you do. And it made me think about mentors, right? Mentors I've had in the past, mentors I have now. And one of the things that I think is very essential is who you pick as a mentor, right? If you listen to the wrong people, what is going to happen? You are going to be doing the wrong things. Even if these people may have something to show for it, if they're not doing it the right way, they're only going to bear those rewards for a fraction of the time, okay? Things don't last forever, especially if you're doing it the wrong way. So it's really important to find a mentor that has the same morals as you, the same mindset as you, and that believes in the same things that you do, okay? And especially when you're trying to use them for business, because business is tricky, okay? You start doing the wrong things, you're gonna get in trouble, you're gonna lose a heck of a lot of money, and you're gonna not be doing very well within 5 to 10 years if you don't follow the right people. On top of that, the people that you listen to and the advice that you get from these people, obviously, as you apply it in your life, you're gonna be able to see what works and what doesn't work, okay? So as you begin to choose a mentor and you start listening to them, if you're doing things they're saying and it doesn't seem to be working, or it's not working the right way, okay, like they're saying they are, at some point you should maybe think, okay, does this guy know what he's doing? Is he doing it the right way? Or maybe should I go get a second opinion? Maybe should I go ask somebody else or listen to somebody else and kind of just see if they align, okay? I've talked about this before. The principles of success, the principles of building a business, a healthy lifestyle, building a family, these principles are all the same. I'm reading a book right now called Think and Grow Rich, okay? It's by Napoleon Hill. Thank you, Michael. Napoleon Hill. So this book was written in the 1930s, if I'm not mistaken, and it's still one of the best-selling books in business and in personal development, okay? So 1930s compared to now, can anybody think of the difference, okay? Technology, I mean, for starters, right? There wasn't probably anything at all back then, very minimal. I don't even think, did they have the ether back then? They didn't have ether back then, right? Wireless connections, all that, everything. I mean, yeah, literally lifestyles, the way people think, the way people look at other people, the way people just live in general is 150,000% different than the 1930s. So how are these principles and Think and Grow Rich still guiding people and teaching people how to be successful in 2023? It's easy. I've said it a million times before and I'll continue to say it. The principles never change, okay? The truths are eternal. They're unending. They're never going to be any different. The principles stay the same. How we implement, okay? And how we, how we implement and put those things to work, the method of implementation, those are the things that are going to adapt and change, okay? But the principle is going to stay the same. You may sell differently now, okay? Maybe you're not going door to door or getting the yellow, I'm too young for this, but pulling out the yellow page, or what was that thing they were talking about in the conference? All the different contacts on a little spin wheel. I can't remember what it's called. You guys remember what it's called?
I don't. I was born in 1995, man.
Yeah, I don't even know, but all these different methods. Okay, you used to have to take contacts down on a piece of paper, pagers, whatever the case is. I remember my dad talking about the first phone, this big brick phone. Well, the first phone I got was in 6th grade. It was a Razor. Next year, the iPhone came out, and since then, I haven't had a phone that isn't touchscreen, okay? So the principles stay the same, but the methods and the way we do things changes, right? So we're not knocking doors very much anymore. I know pest control companies do a lot of that as well, but like for me, like I'm not cold calling people for remodels. What am I doing? I'm using technology, social media, marketing. Now, selling people and getting them to be sold, the principles are the same. The way I'm going about it is different from 1930, okay? But I'm still using a lot of similar techniques, but adapting them in different forms to better produce and be more efficient with all the blessings of technology, communication, all these things that we have, automobiles, planes, we can fly, I can fly to another part of my state right now within an hour. So now I can do a job out there, okay? Rather than having to take a 5-hour trip and go check up on it, okay? There's so many different things that we can do. So it's really important to understand that when you're choosing a mentor, kind of to bring this back around, is you need to, number one, make sure you find someone who knows what they're talking about. And if you don't know what they're talking about, I can tell you're going to find out very quickly once you start implementing what they're saying, whether they know what they're talking about or not. Okay? Because the things they should be teaching you should be what? Bringing results. Now, to be clear on that, there's another side of this, okay? When you get a mentor, if you're implementing or you feel like you're implementing, you should, and you're not getting results, you should also take a look at what exactly you're doing specifically, okay? I know a lot of people within a program, a coaching program that I'm a part of, and, in school, I've seen this a lot. People say, oh, well, they keep telling me to do this and do this and do this, but it's not working. Okay, well, what exactly are you doing? How are you doing that? Well, I'm doing this. For example, in football, okay, one of the things that I was taught is when the ball is I played linebacker, okay? So when the ball is snapped, your first step is always forward, never backwards, okay? You're always looking for the run first because that's right in front of you. That's the closest zone, okay? Once you realize it's a pass, then you drop back, you go to your zone or whatever the case is. So, but the first step is always forward. Now, that was really hard for me to get down. No matter how many times my coach said it, I felt like it wasn't working, right? So what actually made it work? I can promise you it wasn't like some of these kids I knew going home and watching it and watching YouTubes and doing even more film study. It was actually being on the field and getting it done, okay? So that's a prime example of, you also need to take a look at on how you're implementing what someone's telling you and if you're implementing it the right way, okay? Are you actually taking action or are you taking in knowledge, okay? To get wisdom, what do we need? We need 1, the knowledge, and 2, we need action. Okay, that knowledge needs to be put into action and then you get the experience, you get the wisdom, okay? It's same principle over hundreds of centuries of time that haven't changed, okay? Things have the world's changed around us, so we adapt a little. So when you're picking a mentor, again, to kind of recap, first, make sure they know what they're talking about, okay? If you don't know what you're talking about or you don't know if they're right, put it into action. If it works, then they're probably doing something right. If not, then you're going to find out really quick, hey, maybe this is not the right way. And at the same time, find a mentor that's in a business or a lifestyle of what you're working towards, okay? So like I'm in construction. I'm not going to go find a mentor that is in insurance, okay? They don't align, right? So who do I go for a mentor? Well, right now I got a couple mentors. One of them owns a roofing company, okay? It's not I do a lot more than just roofing, but I do roofing, but the principles and the concepts definitely co-align, okay? There's a lot of things that I can get from him, but if I go listen to a real estate agent or if I go listen to an insurance agent, there's gonna be a lot less that I'm gonna be able to pull from these people than my coach who's actually in a construction, in the construction industry. So make sure you find somebody who actually is in your industry, okay? That's not to say don't go listen to all these people like in podcasts. Like I listen to a lot of people in podcasts that own, nutrition companies and clothing brands. Okay, there's still a lot you can learn. But someone that you're going to work with personally and get mentored by, they need to be in your industry. Okay, that's number one. So apart from that, a second part of the message I wanted to share today is, we're starting to put out videos, every week, and we're putting out this content. And I was walking with my wife the other night on our evening walk, and I'm sitting here, I'm like, okay, I feel like we got good content, and I know it takes time. I'm very impatient. I'm like, okay, I want people to see these. I want people to get impacted because I want to help people. I want to help people change their lives and show them how they can go from to be, being a baller or whatever the case is, whatever they want to be, whatever their dream or their goals are. I want to show them how to do that because I've been able to do some of that. So I'm sitting here, I'm like, okay, we've had a podcast, we have 4, this is the 5th episode, great. So how many views do we have? How many downloads? Okay, so it got me thinking, got me brainstorming a little bit. I'm sitting here, I'm like, okay, I'm putting out great content. There's a lot of people putting out great content, okay? So why would anybody listen to me? Why would anybody listen to this 28-year-old kid on a couch in a collared shirt with a cheerleading puffy microphone at my collar right now? Why would anybody listen to me and even allow my video to go past the 60-second point? I'm going to tell you why right now. Number one, I want to make it clear, I try. I mean, I don't know how good I am at it. I mean, you can ask my family and friends, but I don't like to be boastful. I don't like to show off. I do like, a big truck and stuff like that, and those things may make people feel like I'm showing off when I got, nice things and stuff, but I like those things. Okay, I'm not buying it to be able to go show Roger down the street that like, hey, look at what I got. Like, hey, do you have one of these? But I do think it's important to explain why you guys should give me the time of day and give my team the time of day and this podcast or even my company the time of day. And that is because we've been successful in a lot of different aspects. Okay, we weren't always successful, right? We've been through hardships, we've been through tough times. I've freaking literally, like, if you guys go back a few episodes, I've lost everything. I've been at literally nothing. Okay, my manhood, my ego, my confidence, everything's been torn down to literally be non-existent, and I've been able to bring it back up to a level even higher than it was previously when I first began. So, in 2 years, let's see, so 2020, July of 2020, I started to try and rebuild my company after I'd pretty much lost everything, okay? From July of 2020 to July of this year, what is that, 2 years? Or is that 3 years? That's like 2.5 years. Yeah, okay? We have done over 8 figures in business, okay? So within 2.5 years, we have done over $10 million in business. Okay, $10 million. We do know what we're talking about just a little bit, okay? So if you guys want to get to a point where you're revenuing, whatever that word may be, okay, I'm not the best with grammar. If you want to bring your revenue past 8 figures, this is definitely a podcast you want to listen to. If you want to know what you should be doing at home, how you should be living your life, what you should be absorbing, who you should be listening to, how you should be acting, how to run the business, scale the business, marketing, whatever the case is. I mean, all these things, how to be a better you, how to be a 7-figure person, which you have to do before you have a 7-figure business. Okay, and there's people out there that don't focus on that first and they get that 7-figure business, but what happens to them? Just like I was talking 10 minutes ago about this mentor. If you do not work on yourself first and you are lucky enough to gain that, okay, you're going to lose it very quickly because business is so much more than pulling in money and selling product, okay? That is a fraction. I personally don't even think that's really the top 3 focuses in building a business. Sales should be maybe number 4. There are 3 things at least that you should be focused on to be able to do that. So if you want to know why you guys should be listening to me or to Mikey, Kyle, or anybody else we bring on this podcast, that is because we have seen multi-millions of dollars flush through our account. Okay, we have signed contracts. Just last year, I sat down in front of an investor and a construction manager, and I convinced them at 27 years old to do over $3 million of business with me. Okay, that's, again, not being prideful, but I'm trying to show you like I was doing something right in order to do that, right? So these are just a few reasons that I wanted to share with you guys. And hey, why should I be listening to RJ? Why should we be listening to the homework, assignment? Why should I even take into consideration other contracting? It's because we've been through the ringer, we've been through hell, we've been knocked down, we've gone back up, okay? We've made the mistakes ourselves, not just heard of the mistakes and learned not what to do. We've actually done what you shouldn't do, which has led to the experience, which in my opinion, is the best way to do it. I don't recommend everybody do that. I think you can save yourself a lot of pain, but if I had to do it over again, I would make all the mistakes myself. Even if I heard them, I would still do what I thought I shouldn't do and make the mistakes, because it has given me so much more wisdom, experience, and taught me even more than just a lesson of not doing that, okay? I learned more about myself. I learned more about tenacity, dedication, consistency, having a strong attitude, mindset, all that kind of stuff that we're always going to talk about. That came from all that. So again, I know that for the people who are listening to this podcast, okay, whether you're focused more on the home life of things or you're focused more on the business life, okay, if you're listening for just one of those things, great. But again, our assignment is to figure out the balance and how to mesh those together, because I'll recap my life for you, okay? In 2018, I met my wife, okay, at the end of 2018. 6 months later, March of 2019, me and my wife got married. And so in the last, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, so 4 years, within 4 years, I've had 2 children, 1 miscarriage. My wife's pregnant now. I don't know if she get mad that I said that, but I think it's important to know. Like, hey, if we're having another baby, great. So, right. So 2 kids, we had a miscarriage like 6-7 months ago. That was very tough and really sad. She's pregnant again. We have a new puppy, and we are in the adoption process of adopting my 2 younger siblings who are teenagers, 13 and 14. All of that on top of what? On top of building an 8-figure, multi-million-dollar business, okay, within 4 years from nothing. I got off the plane from South America, okay, my parents picked me up. That wasn't a fun time. It was actually a little sad. Mom was on drugs, okay, stepfather wanted to, leave my mom at the time. Kids were, traumatized from not having any guidance in their life. It was really sad coming home after not seeing everybody for 2 years, especially when they made me think it was, everything was fine and dandy for the most part, okay? To come home, okay, I haven't seen my family in 2 years. Got off the plane, went to Denny's, okay, and I chose a place where I wanted to go get some American food. I've been in South America, Chile for the last couple of years, so I was like, yeah, give me some pancakes, eggs, sausage, let's get it done. Which is a really funny side note, in South America, I remember when I got there, for a few weeks in training at what they call the MTC, you couldn't go about and explore the world, okay? We're all 18-year-old. Most of them were 18-year-olds. I was a little bit older. But I remember when I finally got kind of put out on my own with my companion, I finally found a McDonald's. I'm like, okay, they got McDonald's out here. So I wanted, breakfast is like my favorite thing, and I loved a McDonald's, McDonald's McMuffin, a juicy McGriddle, okay? I go to freaking McDonald's, I look at the breakfast menu, they got bread, ham, and freaking avocado. There was no McGriddles. There was nothing. So you can imagine why I wanted to go back to Denny's right when I got off the plane. But anyway, so got off the plane, went to Denny's, ate there, bunch of arguing, really annoying, whatever. Went home, okay, what am I expecting? I'm expecting to hang out with my family. What didn't happen? They all went to the rooms, and my mom went to sleep, like this, and I'm sitting in my living room by myself with my suitcases. And my mom threw away everything. I had no clothes. She threw away, memorabilia, all my trophies, Letterman jacket, everything literally gone. And all I had was what I brought with me and brought home with me from Chile, from South America, okay? Didn't have any regular, jeans. I had a pair of shorts and some running shoes for exercise things, but I didn't have literally anything. I had no clothes, had no money, no, bank account. Luckily, for the first couple of days, I didn't even have a cell phone. Okay. So literally came home from nothing, and having nothing is what honestly was a huge motivation. It was a huge drive. Okay. What am I going to do? I need to do something because I literally don't even have clothes. Okay. I literally don't even my shoes that I was wearing, I had 3 pairs of shoes. I wore through them, and my last pair of shoes that I had for a few months before I came home, those were about to wear through, okay? I had rips in my pants, literally had nothing, and nobody cared. My parents didn't care, nobody cared. I don't know if they had money, my mom or whatever. I think they may have, but it doesn't matter. I'm glad because I built everything from literally absolutely nothing. And I know a lot of you out there are trying to build something from nothing. And I'm here to tell you, you can do it. It's going to work, okay? But again, find a good mentor, listen to the right material, take in, consume everything that you want to be. Find people that are 80 levels ahead of you. Do not hang out with people who are 80 levels below you, because all that's going to do is bring you closer to their level, because they're not doing anything to benefit you, okay? You're not doing anything to benefit them, okay? So find the right people, put yourself in the right environment, in the right situations, right? So, and again, if you wonder why you need to listen to us, we know what we're talking about, okay? If you guys want to see 7-8 figures when you open up bank accounts, your account, whatever the case is, if you guys want to see a bunch of money, trust me, all these things that we talk about, all the things that you'll hear on a lot of other self-development podcasts, these are the things that you need to be doing, okay? No matter what you may think, no matter what anybody tells you. And if you consume it and if you put it into action, it's all going to come to light, all right? So I know for a fact, like there's, I've had a lot of mentors, like my uncle has been one, Jensen over here, who really kind of helped me get even started, okay? And then, the business programs we're in, and that, I guess that's another thing, like speaking of mentors and like business coaching, right? Like if you're not willing to invest in yourself, then what are you trying to do exactly? Okay, so like if you need to be willing to invest in yourself, okay? I pay tens of thousands of dollars to be part of coaching, books, programs, universities, like Grant Cardone's university on selling, okay? I buy a ton of content, okay? All of that brings it back. And let me tell you a cool story about that. Okay, so we joined Elder Contracting. We went to a business conference at the beginning of this year, and it's actually the coaching program, the conference we just went and sponsored yesterday. And one of the coolest things happened. I paid, I think this was $12,000 we paid to get into this, okay? And no matter how much money you may have, and the more you have, it's a little bit easier, of course, but even with 6 figures in bank accounts, I had a hard time justifying why I was going to give somebody $12,000 for a meeting every week and a quarterly conference to show me how to, rack up my revenue. It was really hard for me, okay? But I had faith, and I knew you had to invest in yourself, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to make it back one way or another, whether it's through, referrals or whether it's through content or whatever. I had a feeling I was going to make it back. So I paid it in full, okay? That program I've been in for 3 months, and I have pulled in almost $1 million. It's soon to be over $1 million worth of revenue off of $12,000. Can you guys tell me if you think it's worth it? Would it be worth it at that point? Okay, whether you have to, pull out a loan or, break it down in monthly payments, whatever the case is, be a part of something. Don't be scared to pay and invest in yourself. You need to do it. You have to do it. There is no way for you to grow if you are not willing to invest in yourself. Money, do not be scared to pay money. It will come back around, okay? And it makes the economy come back around. Why do you guys think everybody got those COVID checks that I know everybody loved, whether you hated it or not or agree with it or not? It was nice to get thousands of dollars, right? Well, why does the government do that? They do that because they know people will spend it, okay? So help your economy. Okay, that's 2 birds with 1 stone. You invest in yourself and you invest in a great economy. And what do you need to make money? A good economy. In my opinion, even through a bad economy, I can make money. Okay, and we'll show you how to do that. We'll show you how to make money. We'll show you how to put your family first, put your marriage first, and still build a multi-million-dollar business. It is possible, and there are many people that you're surrounded by on a daily basis that have done it and are doing it or are about to do it. So why don't you guys come and be one of them, okay? This is the Homework Assignment Podcast. We will find the balance, okay? We're going to put stuff into action on how to balance those 2 things, but it's not just the balance. You will grow. Okay, that balance will rise with you. You will build a company. You will be successful if you listen and implement and you put action into it. I know it. So follow us on all of our social media. Instagram and Facebook is at Elder Contracting Co. Check out our website, eldercontracting.com. And then, on those social media platforms, we have our link tree and all that kind of stuff. We have a bunch of videos on YouTube, and we're not always serious. We're a little goofy at times. We have a blooper, actually, I think we might be posting here soon. And it's fun. And that's another thing. Have fun with what you're doing. With all this self-development stuff, have fun. Let it be a passion. And I'm getting a call, and it's not my wife, so I don't care. Let it be a passion, okay? Have fun. It's very important. If you do not love what you're doing, do not do it, because all that's going to do is bring you in a place that you don't want to be, okay? This is the Homework Assignment Podcast. Like, share, comment. We need more Q&As, guys, okay? There's a few comments and questions that we have. We need more. Leave some questions for me, okay? I don't care if it's about life. I don't care if it's about money. I don't care if it's about your sex relationship with your wife or husband. I do not care. Leave us questions. We have answers. We have solutions. And we will help you guys get to the next level.